Well, hello everybody. My name is Phillip McCrevice, and here is an exciting bonus episode of Mercury Maniacs, where we're not brainiacs. We had a bit of an off day today on account of everybody's trying to recover from 4th of July shenanigans. So I thought I would get at you with a little bit of a bonus episode, a Jonas. So how often do you think about the Roman Empire? Mercury is their own guy of tricksters. We're goofballs, degenerates, and not that drunken maniacs. Tune in weekly or you'll be square. Miss an episode. Don't you dare. So like I said, I am myself, Phillip McCrevice, and a little bit of something that was sticking in my craw a little bit about this Ticketmaster series that we had going on. We kind of left things hanging a little bit because we had part 1, where we were basically pro-Ticketmaster, and we had a part 2, where I attempted to go anti-Ticketmaster and talked about the Ticketbastard, about how they were having monopolistic behavior, or maybe even an oligarchy, where several powerful contingents are able to control the entire industry. Well, there was a big part of it that I feel like was a little bit missing from when we did this last time, and that was the Porter's 5 forces. How are these companies able to be in control of everything? Why doesn't somebody else just come in and eat their lunch? So I decided to go ahead and get a little bit of the edumacation and figure out exactly why and how. Pause a little bit for station identification, folks. Here we go. And there it is. We are live with sound. Excelente. So this is going to be a quick one. Just going to be in and out. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Hitting up the coffee shop down here in downtown Willoughbytown. But one of the things I really wanted to mention was the Porter's 5 forces. So you might be wondering, who is Porter and why these 5 forces matter? Well, the reason why they matter is because they show you how much power does a company have within the ecosystem, and how much can they have the pricing power due to it. I myself went to Collage not once, but 2 times, so I did learn a little bit about this along my travels there, and I figured I would share it with you fine folk, because the question becomes, whenever there's a company doing something we don't like, why doesn't another company just come in and offer better services or cheaper prices, or a little bit of both, make everybody really happy? Because that is the idea of capitalism, folks. If a company gets too big, too unwieldy, too greedy, then somebody else should be rushing in to fill the void. And here we're seeing that that's not happening. So first of all, what's the problem here? The Ticketmaster, they charge egregious fees, and they do it even though 99% of people really hate it. So why is it this way? How can it last for a long time? Why isn't somebody else doing something about it? Well, I have the answer for you here. Porter's 5 forces. So in any competitive industry, there is industry rivalry in the center. That's your competition. So you have the Ticketbastard, you have AXS in addition, you have Ticket Hub, Ticket Stub, Game Day Pass, all these other ones. There's a laundry list of them, but they all offer pretty much the same lucrative for the company type of service, but terrible for the consumer. If there's not a lot of competition in your environment, you got to worry about new entrants coming in. So what if tomorrow one of these trillion-dollar companies decide they want to get into the ticketing biz? So what if we had like Apple ticketing or Google ticketing or Amazon ticketing coming in? In addition, there's threat of substitutes. Instead of going to a concert and paying all the fees, what can you do instead to avoid paying those egregious fees, in addition to the high ticket prices? After that, we have bargaining power of the suppliers. So who supplies the music to these industries? That's going to be your artists, your singer-songwriters, your comedians. I guess we had a comment about the other day that they're kind of in the same vein there. In addition, you got the bargaining power of buyers, and that's us, the concert goers. If there's a lot of concert goers, and they all want the same ticket, so we don't have that much bargaining power. But if there's a smaller pool of people that want to go out to the show, then we might have a little bit of bargaining power because they must cater to us. We're not catering to them. Other than that, I guess I can kind of break these down here because they are all very much pointing in the way of Ticketmaster. So in terms of rivals, that's the hot white center here. There are not very many rivals, although there's a couple. So I guess we could call it actually technically an oligopoly, as opposed to an oligarchy. So oligopolies, there's a couple of major competitors, but not very many. If there's maybe like 50 or 100 different ticketing partners, there could be a lot more competition. That would push prices down, and that's what we want. But there's just a few very big ones, Ticketmaster being by far the largest. So there's not very much help there for us, the concert goer, in terms of the prices. New entrants, it is practically impossible for a new entrant to come along. You're not going to be able to see like Apple ticketing or Google ticketing or Amazon ticketing, because the barriers to entry are very high. We talked about the first couple episodes about the exclusive rights, but I just wanted to mention that again real quick. The exclusive rights are negotiated and will not be broken for several years. So even if there was some big money bags out there who wanted to come in and be a bastion of hope for concert goers, he wouldn't be able to break into the industry for several years, and maybe not even then, because they're probably re-up and everything. So as far as the venues, what incentive is there for the venues to break their exclusive relationship? Because they're making money on this. There is basically almost no incentive for them to break their exclusive relationships, and so they most likely won't. We talked about the kickbacks versus the bribes. In terms of the legal parlance, there is a slight difference, but in terms of the actuality, kickbacks versus bribes, very similar. So these concert venues are getting kickbacks, aka bribes, to be the exclusive partnership. That's going to lock them in for a long period of time and allow Ticketmaster to run rampant. Economy of scale, that's another big one. So Live Nation, LYV, Live Nation Ticketmaster, is the largest kid on the block. They operate thousands of venues and sell billions of tickets every year. It's not going to be that easy for a mom and pop shop just to pop up and sell a couple billion tickets. So we would hope that it would be that easy in order to get it in there and figure something out, but it's unfortunately not true. They're the biggest and the baddest. Even if you could find somebody that had deep pockets that could come in and do it, there's a network effect. So people are already ticketing with Ticketmaster. It's going to be hard to get them to go anywhere else. They already have an account. They already have their neural pathway planned. Fans could theoretically buy from the box office in person, but actually we talked about that the other day. That's mostly gone the way of the dodo. So if you happen to buy from the venue, their digital ticket office, you're just going right back through Ticketmaster through a different name. So that's the network effect we got there. Distribution channel. So let's see. No new entrants going to be able to entice a venue away from the major players unless they are building brand new venues as well. So theoretically, you could build a new venue and then you could have a new ticketing partner. Not very likely for that to happen. That requires a lot of different things: land, construction, planning, finances, getting the talent and luring them away from this Ticketmaster Live Nation experience. So very slim pickings there. In addition, we have substitutes, the threat of substitutes here. And I know we touched on that briefly, but just to reiterate slightly here, that there is a very low chance for substitutes. It's practically impossible unless huge artists play for less or choose a dive venue. And I know there have been some instances of this. Kid Rock is one that we talked about before. He's accepting less for his shows, but that's going to be after you're already well established. If you're a new artist, you're not going to be able to do that. Seeing the band before they get big used to be a lot easier on this like highway to hell type of a situation where they're going to be in a different city every night playing dive venues. But now with the internet, everything is fast. So bands get so big so fast now. It's internet exposure blows them up overnight, like your Justin Biebers of the world. Then they're on the nationwide tour, and you're not going to be able to see them in dive bars. Although, would you really want to see Justin Bieber in a dive bar? That might be weird. Let's see, another couple substitutes that I happen upon here. YouTube has live concerts. So you can get kind of a little bit of the experience at a fraction or none of the cost. There used to be a streaming service called Palladia, and that was circa, I believe, 2008 that Palladia came on the scene. It's actually been rebranded as MTV Live. And that was really interesting. They had a lot of really great content there, but it did not last. And again, there's almost nothing you can do to substitute the live concert experience. Now, a couple things that I was thinking about in terms of solutions, because everybody wants to shortcut right to the solutions here, that they might do a Supersize Me type of an event. So let's go through that real quick, and then we'll get to the suppliers and the buyers. So if anybody's seen the movie Supersize Me, and they know the knock-on effect of Supersize Me, Morgan Spurlock went around to McDonald's and he ate nothing but McDonald's 3 meals a day for 30 days, and wow, lo and behold, there were some negative effects. So what did McDonald's and the corporate structure of these fast food places do? Well, they changed exactly nothing, except for the name. So you will no longer be able to go to McDonald's and get a super-sized fry or a super-sized drink. Now, if you want to have exactly the same number of fries or exactly the same ounces of drink, you will be able to get it, but it's going to be called large as opposed to supersize. So that's just changing like the consciousness of the people here. I imagine what Ticketmaster will probably do eventually is enough pressure is applied, they will probably change their fee structure. They will probably eliminate their fee entirely, and everybody will rejoice. But what they'll probably do is they'll probably just roll the fee right into the ticket price. So again, they're going to change the name, but they're probably not going to change the practice whatsoever. Although that might be a little bit better because there is a psychological effect to trying to buy a ticket. And then at the end of the checkout process, that they're slapping this fee on there. People, in their mind, they're having this panic moment, like, I need this ticket now, and I need this ticket now. Of course I'll pay whatever fees they're going to tack on. So a little bit of transparency goes a long way. That'd be nice. But I don't think financially that they will change their practices whatsoever. They'll probably just be rolling that fee right into the ticket price in total and not breaking it out. We'll still be paying exactly the same amount, or maybe even more, but at least they'll tell us up front. Stay tuned till the end of this little mini segment, and I'll have a proposal for you. But the next two things I have to go through is suppliers and buyers. So the suppliers of Ticketmaster, that would be your venues. The venues should have high bargaining power because, you know, the venue, you got one concert, one night, and you have your choice of ticketing ticketing partner. But basically what Ticketmaster did was kind of evil genius, was they flipped the script on them. So basically Live Nation has to pay them off. And actually is buying up venues as well. So venues should have their choice of the litter here. Who do we want to be our ticketing partner? But now they're receiving gobs of cash, and they're getting those exclusive relationships. So they basically gave the power to Live Nation Ticketmaster. So they're selling out their power for cash now. And that's what's really harming us concert goers. Buyers, that's us, the concert goers. We have very little power. Once a year, maybe once in a lifetime event. So once it comes around, we're going to pay almost anything. I mean, it's not how much you're willing to pay. It's how much you literally can pay. You'll pay any amount as long as it's in your bank account. So they're using the Super Bowl model of pricing. Super Bowl only comes around once a year, but if it's your team, it might only come around once a decade, once a lifetime. So they're really keyed into this sentiment. Let's see, pay literally any asking price. How much do you have in your account? Rather, how much you're willing to pay. So basically, that is the effect of what Ticketmaster is doing. That the concert goers will pay literally anything if they have it. And now there's buy now, pay later. There's credit cards that you don't have to pay off immediately. So it's not just the buying power that you have; it's the buying credit that you have as well. So you got a credit limit of $10,000, but you have $10 in your account. Swipe those space credits, and future me will figure out the way to pay it off. In terms of another novel solution, now I believe that they may go to this model eventually, if the pressure of all these different solutions has been not to the liking of the shareholders, they may go to somewhat of a simulation where they could combine two headliners. So you got your Metallica and you got your Megadeth. and they could be going on 2 separate tours. Now, what they could do is they could do a co-headlining solution, but then your payment structure changes. So if you were paying, let's say, $100 for a Metallica or a Megadeth separately, now what they could do is they could have the co-headliner on the same night. You could then be paying $75 for Metallica only, or $75 for Megadeth only. But if you wanted to have a double feature and combine them together, now you're paying $150. So this would be a nightmare for the event staff, having to clear people out and double check tickets and do all that kinds of crazy stuff all throughout, because you'd fill the place up for the openers, then you may have to empty it again and fill it up for the headliner number 1, empty and fill for the headliner number 2. So it might be a big nightmare for logistics wise, but in terms of money wise, it actually could be a huge windfall for the performer, for the whole artist complex, and it could have a slight benefit for the concert goer as well. You were paying $100 for Metallica, now you could pay $75 for Metallica and also get the opening acts as well. So you're saving 25% there. Or if you really want to see the double feature, now you're paying $150, where as opposed you could have been seeing 2 different concerts, 100. You're saving there too. But I think that these A&R representatives and these record labels are going to realize that if you have a 2 headliner type of event, you could be making 50% more no matter which way you slice it, because if someone goes for the double feature, they're paying $150. If someone goes for one or the other, they're paying $75 and $75. So that could be really a big money-making scheme for Ticketmaster. I'm not sure if they're going to come in and do that right away, or if that's going to be a couple years in the making. I think people initially would be happy until they realize that they're actually going to be paying potentially 50% more. But everybody kind of wins in this situation, except the fact that we are still going to be paying the high fees, except they're just going to be rolled right into the concert price. So a lot of things on the horizon for Ticketmaster, for Live Nation. And that's the 4 Force is exactly why we have to pay high prices. Why can't somebody just get in there and help us out there? Unfortunately, we didn't have a fully fledged episode for you today, just because of the 4th of July hangover. So I wanted to get to you with a little bit of a bonus content. Sitting over here sipping at the coffee shop. But if you have any other stuff that you want me to explain from my time in Collage, as opposed in terms of Ticketmaster or any other major company, I'd be happy to do that. If you have any other questions on the financials for Live Nation, I did dig through quite a bit of those, so I can go through that if you want to. Hopefully we will be coming back to you soon. I think we're thinking about switching up the day, so we might not be here on Mondays every time anymore. We might be looking at switching to a different day of the week, but I hope you had a happy 4th of July, and have a good one. Mercury Maniacs, We're Not Brainiacs, now featuring the Brain Trust. Have a happy July, and I'll be catching you soon. If I can find this end button, of course. Because that was a little bit of a doozy last time. So let me see if I can go ahead and scroll through and find that, because it is certainly hiding out. And, oh wow. The end button has eluded me yet again, so we'll try to just go ahead and close the whole thing down.